China is about to pop the AI bubble, and Meerkat can prove it to you. Right now, the whole stock market, your index fund, your pension, the number your retirement app shows you before you cry, is riding on one story. The story is, American companies will make trillions from AI because the whole world will have to buy American AI. One story, trillions of dollars riding on it. And in June this year, that story started to die. A letter arrived at a company in San Francisco, and by the end of that night, the world's most advanced AI was switched off for most of the planet. 4 days later, France walked out, then Germany, then Spain, then Britain. And standing outside, selling the same thing for 1/10 of the price, was China. Let Meerkat explain. But first, Meerkat owes you an explanation. Meerkat did not want to make this video. Meerkat was having a lovely week. He'd muted the news. He'd picked up baking for a hobby. Then the letters came, hundreds of them, all asking the same thing. Meerkat, is my retirement fund going to be okay? So Meerkat sighed, put the cupcakes in the bin where it belonged, and spent 9 days reading the most boring documents ever produced by mankind. One of them was 400 pages long. Meerkat now understands why accountants look like that. He drank 14 cups of tea. 2 of them were for research. Meerkat is not okay, but he did find the answer. It comes down to 3 problems. Problem 1, nobody trusts AI. Problem 2, AI loses money. And problem 3, the one nobody on TV wants to say out loud, is China. So settle in, you fat lard, crack open that bottle of Mountain Dew, and let Meerkat explain to you why the AI bubble is seriously about to burst. So, June 12th. A letter reportedly arrives at Anthropic, the company behind Claude, which right now is widely considered the smartest AI on Earth. The letter is from the US government, and the order is simple. Cut off your best AI models from every foreign national on the planet. Not just China, everyone. France, locked out. Germany, locked out. Japan, locked out. Even Anthropic's own staff, sitting inside the building, not American, locked out. And that night, every country on Earth learned the same lesson. American AI has an off switch, and America is holding it. Think about it like this. Imagine your whole country runs on Netflix. Work, school, hospitals, all Netflix. Then one Tuesday, America switches off Netflix. What do? You go and find a telly that nobody can take away from you, and you never ever trust Netflix again. And it doesn't matter if America promises to never do it again. Once you know the switch exists, you plan around it forever. And that's what happened. Within days, France reportedly fired Palantir, a big American data and surveillance company, with the message, "We can't rely on a country that can switch us off." Germany was already leaving. Spain told its companies to stop signing deals. Britain followed. One letter. And America's biggest AI customers started sprinting out of the room. Now they're all shopping for AI that can't be taken away. Remember that, because it's about to matter a lot. Quick pause. Why does this matter to you? Yes, you, the one who thinks diversified means owning 2 flavors of crisps. But Meerkat, I don't own AI stocks. Yes, you do. If you own anything, you own AI stocks. The biggest companies in your index fund are mostly giant AI bets now. You're in this whether you know it or not. America is spending about $1 trillion a year building AI. Data centers the size of towns. Power deals the size of countries. Spending $1 trillion a year is fine, if the story is true. If the whole world has to buy American AI forever, the money comes back. But if the world has a choice, the money never comes back. And your index fund, the boring sensible one, is sitting right on top of that bet. So is your pension, so is your dad's. So let's test the story. Allow Meerkat to start with problem number 1. This is Sam. Sam runs the biggest AI company in the world, and Sam has a problem. Sam's product is everywhere. It writes your emails, it apologizes to your landlord in a tone you could never manage. Sam's face is on every magazine, but the companies actually paying Sam, the ones wiring him millions, are reportedly furious. Alex Karp, boss of Palantir, said it on television. His clients are livid. They're paying fortunes for AI and getting nothing back. One reportedly called it a wealth tax that doesn't even help the poor. Just a tax, for vibes. And Karp asked the question that made every AI boardroom sweat. If AI is so valuable, why do they charge for tokens? Let Meerkat translate. A token is basically a word. Every word the AI reads, and every word it spits out, you pay for it. Right answer, you pay. Completely made up nonsense, you also pay. Ask it for a recipe, pay. Ask it why the recipe didn't work, pay again. The worse it is, the more you spend, because you have to keep asking. It's a taxi that charges extra for wrong turns. You've done this yourself. Asked it a question, got rubbish, asked again, got different rubbish, then Googled it like it's 2015. Congratulations, you paid 3 times. Nothing else in your life works like this. You pay a lawyer to win. You pay a builder for a wall. You pay it for the result. AI is the only business on Earth that charges you by the word. And here's Karp's real point. If Sam truly believed his AI could make your business rich, he'd sell it the easy way. Pay me nothing unless it works. works, then give me a cut. No AI company on earth offers that deal. Not one. Why? Because AI makes things up, confidently. Lawyers have reportedly been caught handing judges court cases the AI simply invented. Real courtrooms, made up cases. And nobody, including the people who built the AI, can promise you when it won't do that. You can't take a cut of a result you can't promise. You know that feeling, it's how you talk about the gym. That's also why every AI boss keeps saying, we can't wait to see what you build with this. Translation, we don't know what it's for. You figure it out, on your own bill. And there's one more problem, and it's the big one. Everything your company types into these AIs, your customers, your secrets, your special sauce, flows through Sam's computers. So what happens when the AI you're renting learns your business? It becomes your competitor, not a theory. Anthropic reportedly launched a design tool while partnered with Figma, a design company. Figma's boss said publicly he was shocked. Imagine paying someone millions a year and slowly realizing you're funding your own replacement. So the smartest companies on earth all landed on the same answer: stop renting AI. Own one. Download it, run it on your own computers where nobody can spy on it and nobody can switch it off. Remember all those countries shopping for AI that can't be taken away. Same shopping list. Hold that thought. Someone's about to sell them exactly that, basically for free. Small footnote, because Meerkat reads the fine print, you accepted terms and conditions from an app that knows where you sleep. 2 days before that interview, Karp's company announced it was selling Own Your Own AI with Nvidia, so his rant was also an advert. Everyone in this story is selling something, especially the honest ones. Problem 2. Even if everyone trusted Sam completely, the business loses money. Not loses money for now, loses money by design. Here's how software is supposed to work. It's the best business ever invented. You build the thing once, and then every new customer is free money. When you buy a copy of Excel, Microsoft spends nothing extra. That's why tech companies are the richest companies in history. AI broke that. Every question you ask the AI costs Sam real money, real electricity, real computer chips grinding themselves to death in a warehouse. Every time you ask it to fix your dating profile, Sam loses money, which, given your dating profile, serves him right. So AI isn't a software business, it's a restaurant. Every single plate costs money to cook, except this restaurant loses money on every meal, and its big plan to fix that is to serve more food. That's the plan. That's the whole plan. A normal restaurant would just raise its prices. This one can't. You'll see why in problem 3. The numbers as reported. OpenAI lost about $20 billion in 2025. One company, 1 year, $20 billion. And it's reportedly getting worse because every new model costs more to run than the last one. Oh, and while losing all that, OpenAI reportedly signed promises to spend over $1 trillion on future computing, losing $20 billion a year, promising $1 trillion. That's your mate losing his job and putting a deposit on a jet ski. But Amazon lost money for years. Sure, but Amazon got cheaper to run as it grew. That was the whole trick. AI gets more expensive as it grows. It's the same sentence with the ending reversed, and the ending is the only part that matters. And here's the cruel bit. A data center isn't a railway. You don't build it once and keep it for 100 years. The chips inside reportedly wear out and need replacing every few years. So the $1 trillion isn't building a castle, it's building a sandcastle, and the tide is on a schedule. And once you know the business loses money, everything weird suddenly makes sense. Oracle is reportedly building power stations worth of computing for basically one customer, and then wrote in its own paperwork, this customer might not be able to pay us. The customer is the company that just lost $20 billion. Meerkat is not making this up, it's in the filing. Or Meerkat's personal favorite. Nvidia sells chips to smaller companies, those companies borrow billions to buy Nvidia's chips. Then Nvidia reportedly rents the chips back from them, and all of it gets counted as demand. That's a car dealer lending you money to buy the car, then borrowing your car back on weekends, then announcing car sales have never been better. There's a word for an industry doing this: desperate. Meanwhile, out in the real world, a survey of 2,500 companies reportedly found that for every dollar spent on AI, about 18 cents produces anything useful, the rest evaporates. A giant coffee chain reportedly spent a year on an AI stock counting tool and binned it. A language app reportedly sacked its humans, got garbage, and begged them back. 18 cents on the dollar. Even you get better returns, and you bought a fedora. And the big four, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, they announce every good number they have: cloud revenue, ad revenue, YouTube revenue. Now ask what AI earns. Silence. Companies never hide good news. Critics say the AI number stays hidden because the AI number is embarrassing. Meanwhile, the spare cash those giants used to swim in, the famous money mountains, analysts say it's falling off a cliff, all of it shoveled into data centers, and a fun side effect, those data centers reportedly push up electricity prices. So you're paying for this bubble twice, once in your pension, once in your power bill. You're welcome. One last trick, the best one. A tech giant invests $10 billion into an AI lab. The AI lab immediately spends that $10 billion back on the giant's cloud services. The giant counts it as sales. Everyone's numbers go up. No new money ever entered the room. Critics call it circular financing. The world's central banks are reportedly getting worried about it. Meerkat calls it two meerkats in a trench coat, buying hats off each other and declaring the hat business is booming. So, nobody fully trusts it, it loses money on purpose, and the market stays calm anyway because of the story. When the profits finally come, they'll be American profits because the world has no other option, right? Problem 3. This is the panda. The panda is China. Meerkat looked everywhere for a Chinese meerkat. There isn't one. We have a panda. Moving on. While Sam Altman was busy doing magazine covers and podcasts, the panda spent 5 years doing something much scarier, maths. Remember America's $1 trillion a year. China reportedly spends about $100 billion. That's it. America is outspending China 10 to 1, and China is still catching up on AI. How? Simple. The panda copies the homework. Training an AI from scratch costs billions and billions of dollars. You're teaching it everything about the world the hard way. Or you let the American AI do all that, then train your AI on ITS answers. Costs almost nothing. Now you remember copying homework. It's the only reason you passed maths. Same thing is going on here, but with $1 trillion of American homework. So every dollar America spends on AI research is basically a donation to China's AI research. But here's the crazy thing, the panda does the one thing that breaks the story completely. He gives his AI away, for free. You can download it, keep it, run it at home. Nobody spies on it, nobody can switch it off. Read that again. Every company is scared of being spied on. Every country is scared of the off switch. And the panda is standing there handing out exactly what they want, for free, like samples at the supermarket. Why free? Because free is a weapon. Every company that downloads a Chinese model is a company that stops paying Sam. The panda doesn't need the money, he needs Sam to run out of it. But is the Chinese stuff any good? You've probably heard one name, DeepSeek, the one that scared the stock market last year. There are Doens now. Reportedly, the best American AI scores about 60 on the industry's main test. The best free Chinese one scores 51. Not the winner, but it's right behind. And one developer reportedly ran the same task through both. The American AI charged $2.33. The Chinese one, 31 cents. Same job. About 90% of the quality for 10% of the price. Now, to be fair, and Meerkat is always fair, America still owns the single smartest AIs on Earth. They still belong to Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google. That's true. But be honest, do you need the smartest brain on the planet to answer customer emails, to sort paperwork? That's 90% of what companies actually use AI for. It's like hiring Einstein to alphabetize your filing cabinet. For the boring stuff, which is most of the stuff, the panda is basically free. America is winning the race to spend money. China is winning the race to get customers. And here's Meerkat's favorite part of the whole video. A Chinese food delivery app company, their version of DoorDash, built an AI on the side, between deliveries, that reportedly competes with Google's. The model is literally called Longcat. The noodle app company did that. What did you build last year? A fantasy football team that came 9th? So riddle Meerkat this. If the noodle app can build a great AI, what exactly is the $1 trillion for? Companies aren't waiting for the answer. Cursor, Coinbase, Shopify, Airbnb, even Microsoft have reportedly started moving work onto the cheap models already. No announcements, no press releases. That's how these things always start. The story said the world would be forced to buy American AI forever. Then America showed they have an off switch, and the panda opened a free shop across the road. That is the reason the AI bubble is about to pop, right? The question you actually came for. When will the AI bubble pop? Here's what history says, and it's not what you'd think. In the dot-com bubble, the market peaked in March 2000, but the companies kept spending like mad for another full year. The spending didn't stop the crash. The spending was still happening during the crash, because a bubble doesn't pop when the money runs out. It pops when people stop believing. That's all a bubble is, a story with money in it. And stories don't explode, they just stop being told. By the way, the internet cables from the dot-com days didn't vanish. We used them for years afterwards. They became the cheap internet you're using to watch this right now. The technology was real. The investors still lost everything. Both things can be true at once. Remember that when someone tells you but AI is real, yes, so was the internet in March 2000. So don't watch for an explosion, watch for a sentence. One earnings call, some random Tuesday, a CEO clears his throat and says, "We are moderating the pace of our investment." 8 boring words. That's the pin. And here's why it'll spread. Analysts reportedly say the first company to cut its AI spending will be rewarded. Its stock goes up because investors are secretly begging them to stop. The moment Wall Street cheers the first quitter, every CEO on Earth gets permission to quit at the same time. While you wait, here are 3 things to watch from the couch. Which suits you, Meerkat knows you weren't getting up. 1. The borrowing. These data centers run on borrowed money, trillions of it. When the loans get hard to find, giants start selling their own shares to raise cash instead, like one company's reported $85 billion raise. That's not strategy, that's the fuel light coming on. 2. What banks charge. When banks get nervous about a company, they charge it more to borrow. Right now those charges are calm, record calm. Sounds good. It was exactly this calm in early 2007, right before everything exploded. Calm doesn't mean safe, it means nobody's looked down yet. 3. The price of AI itself. The price companies pay for AI is reportedly down about 20% since May, during the biggest AI build-out in history. Why would the price fall while everyone's buying? Because they're switching to the cheap stuff. That's the panda showing up in the data wearing a little name tag. Oh, and Michael Burry, the investor who called the 2008 crash, has reportedly been posting charts again. His point in one line: the companies selling the chips are up huge, while the companies spending the trillion have gone nowhere. The market is already telling you it doesn't believe the spenders will ever get their money back, it's just saying it in charts instead of words. To be fair, Barry has been early before, and in finance, early is a polite word for wrong. Nobody knows the date. Not Barry, not the analysts, not the CEOs, especially not the CEOs, and not Meerkat. Meerkat is a cartoon meerkat who just binned his own cupcakes, but now you know what the doorbell sounds like. So here's where Meerkat lands. The trillion-dollar story had 3 legs. Leg 1, the world trusts American AI. Leg 2, the business makes money. Leg 3, the world has no other option. Leg 1 is cracked, ask France. Leg 2 is cracked, ask the accountants. And leg 3 is being chewed on by a panda. You wouldn't sit on that stool. The entire stock market currently is. That doesn't mean tomorrow. Bubbles can float long after the logic dies. That's what makes them bubbles and not maths. But when this one goes, there'll be no fireworks, just one boring sentence on one boring earnings call, and then every expert on TV will explain they saw it coming all along. You, at least, actually will have. That'll be a first. And no, Meerkat is not telling you to sell anything. Meerkat is not a financial advisor. Meerkat is a small animal with a whiteboard and a tea problem. So, put down the crisps, check what's actually in your index fund, keep the fedora on. At this point, it's load-bearing. Meerkat needs a nap and a new hobby. Like, subscribe, and Meerkat will see you at the pop.